What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ Prospect Profiles. Today we're focusing on Blake Siebenaler of the Niagara Ice Dogs, the Ontario Hockey League. The 55th ranked skater, North American skater, according to Central Scouting. Gotta clear that up. And Fort Wayne, Indiana native. A couple years ago, was playing high school hockey in Indiana. Went to the Cleveland Barons U16 program, and then last year really bounced around. Got to see a lot of geography in the Midwest with the Indiana Ice, the home state team. The U.S. U17 team, and the Bell Tire U16 program, the midget circuit, on the midget circuit, I should say. And then this year took his talents to the Ontario Hockey League and had a respectable 30 points in 68 games. There's a huge learning curve going up to the OHL for rookies, particularly 17-year-old kids. And that's good first year's output. I think he'll improve in that. I think next year, they got a pretty good team, and a lot of those guys will be back. Himself. Those are Perlini, the goalie Moran, they get some good young talent, and they'll be a little bit better next year. They contributed; they'll be better, I should say. How much better is depends upon the improvements of the individual players. But he had a good playoffs. I think he had 5 points in 7 games, and I think he's going to continue to get better. One thing to keep an eye on, and again, I'm probably the only person that still points it out, but it is at times indicative of sloppy play defensively. He's a -11 with Indiana Ice last year in 11 games. And he was -16 this year with the Niagara Ice Dogs, with a plus-minus. I know it's becoming an antiquated stat that doesn't tell the whole truth. I'm the first to admit that. But, I'd like to see him improve defensively because, obviously that's the root word, is defense and defenseman. And, I think he'll be a force to be reckoned with next season. I look for him to have between 50 and 60 points, and, I look for him to go somewhere in the second or third round of this year's draft. I think his work ethic is there. I think you look at how far he's come in the last few years to being, the 55th ranked skater according to the North American skater. And this is a kid that a few years ago was again playing high school hockey in Indiana, and I'm not slighting the great state of Indiana. Gave us Larry Joe Bird, but at the same time, it's not exactly Minnesota, and that's just the way it is, And all the levels of competition he's gone up, and how well he's played, and how much more he'll continue to improve going forward. I think he's going to be a very, very solid pro prospect. I think he'll challenge for a spot on at least one U.S. World Junior team, and they got some pretty good talent up there. He's playing against some of the top players in his age group in the world every night in the OHL, and this is a very OHL heavy draft. I think this is last year was really the cue dictated the tempo. I thought. As like a cross between an in-game analyst and a draft analyst. But I think the amount of players coming out of the Ontario Hockey League this year's draft is good, and I think they're going to. It's a high number, and there's quality and quantity. Again, I've been critical of the talent pool in this year's draft, but I think the OHL should be proud of itself for the amount of players that are at the forefront, coming from the Ontario League this season, and young Blake will be one of those players. Anyway, that's like this episode of the Power Play with CJ Prospect Profiles on Blake Siebenaler of the Niagara Ice Dogs, the Ontario Hockey League. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.